All right, for all my Forex trend traders out there, okay, what you're looking at on the screen right now is a daily chart of dollar yen. This is one of the most liquid and most popular Forex pairs out there. And what I'm going to show you here in this Forex trend trading tutorial is how to use simple pivot points, as you can see represented by these two dots here, all right? How to use these pivot points to catch big trend moves in the Forex markets, all right? Let's do it. All right, traders, let's go ahead and get started on this tutorial on how to catch big moves in the Forex markets while limiting your risk. Okay, this entire game of Forex trading can be very successful if you understand proper risk-reward metrics. And of course, you always need to trade Forex in the direction of the trend. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that. You guys probably know that the only winning strategy out there in any market, whether you trade Forex, futures, or stocks, the only winning strategy is to trade in the direction of the trend. Makes sense? So what I have here for you guys is a side-by-side view. I have a daily chart on the left and I have a hourly chart on the right, okay? And what I want to show you here in this tutorial is how to properly use trendline drawing tools, okay? There are a lot of Forex traders out there who don't know how to properly draw trend lines or how to use trend lines or where to take an entry off of a trend line. There's a lot of misinformation out there on the internet, and I wanted to do this video to kind of set the record straight on what I think is the best and the only way to trade trend lines, okay? So let's start with the theory of higher time frame versus lower time frame, okay? What you see here on the screen, like I said, is a higher time frame chart. This is a daily chart. And what you see on the right is an hourly chart. Makes sense? And so what we want to do is we want to try to forecast trend changes on the daily chart, the higher time frame chart, but we want to use the low risk parameters and entry points from a smaller time frame chart, right? Based on what the larger time frame chart is telling us. Make sense? That's what I mean when I say a higher time frame versus lower time frame strategy. This is also called top-down approach, right? Where you base your entry criteria on a larger time frame, but you execute on a smaller time frame. And there's no limitation, guys, on how deep you want to go with your top-down approach, right? You could have a daily chart, you could have an hourly chart, and then you could also have a minute chart or even a seconds chart to really drill down on a microscopic level and only look for the best trades in the world, right? But for simplicity reasons, in this particular video, I'm going to show you how we grabbed 400 pips using nothing more than a simple trend line. Okay, so let's get started here. Number one, on the daily chart here on the left, guys, you can see these two pivot points that I've drawn with my mouse, all right? All these pivot points represent is buying pushes. Okay, so this area right here that I've drawn with my dot here, this represents an area in the market where the price came down and the buyers felt that this was a nice area to go long, so they pushed it up, right? And then it came back down a little bit, and then the buyer stepped in once again and pushed it up. So these pivot points represent very statistically significant areas in the market that I think any Forex trader needs to be aware of. If you're not tracking pivot points on your charts, you are missing out on incredible signals, okay? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and draw a trend line, as you can see right here, connecting those two pivot points because I want to know where does the trend change, okay? And if you can clearly see here on the chart on the left, the dollar-yen pair broke the trend line, establishing a new trend, okay, right over here. As you can see, I've outlined with this blue box, okay? Now, if you try to match that up with the x-axis, guys, you can kind of see this happened on October 8th, okay? So now that we know that there's a possible and potential trend change on October 8th, on dollar yen, all right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to maximize the other chart, okay, the smaller time frame chart, and let's really drill down on a microscopic level. I'm going to show you an awesome trend line drawing tool that you guys have got to get your hands on, and you'll see a trend trading strategy that really brings a bunch of elements all together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and maximize the chart. Remember guys, this is the smaller time frame chart of dollar yen, as you can see here in the top left. All right, and watch what I'm going to do right here. Okay, I am going to layer on my short trend line drawing tool, as you can see right here. Okay, I've given it a name, Trendline Shorts. Okay, and watch when I hit the OK button. All right, when I enable this particular strategy, all right, onto my Forex chart here of dollar yen, I want you to really pay close attention to the drawing objects that prints on the chart. All right, so watch this. With one click of my mouse, I'm going to hit the OK button, and kaboom, just like that. Did you see what happened on this chart? Right? A bunch of drawing objects, what I call technical trading objects, were drawn onto your chart automatically without you having to do anything. All right, so let me show you how powerful and how simple a trend line strategy can actually be. All right, so what this particular robot strategy is going to do for you guys, it's going to draw purple trend lines, all right, in an upward sloping fashion, and it's going to draw red micro trend lines, right? In fact, if I comb through, you can kind of see that there were quite a lot of trend lines here, all right? But as I said in the beginning of the video, we had noticed a trend change on what date? October 8th, right? And as you can see right here where I'm circling with my mouse, it's October 8th in the x-axis. So only in this section of the chart do we now want to start looking for short trades on dollar yen. Right? Now, the strategy, guys, is going to make things so much easier for you. Right? Essentially, all you have to do is wait for a red trend line that's below a purple. That's it. Okay? Because when you start seeing that red trend line, guys, that's the market telling you, or I should say giving you a clue, that a potential big move is just around the corner. Make sense? So how do you play this? Well, just like I showed you on the daily chart, where we drew a large, very large trend line, and we took that break of the trend line, right? We're going to do the exact same thing here in the smaller time frame chart, okay? And so just like that, here was the entry of the trend line break in the smaller time frame chart with respect to what was happening on the larger daily chart of dollar yen. Does this make sense, guys? All right. Again, there's nothing complicated or terribly advanced about the concept of a trend line, right? All we are doing, guys, is we are taking two pivot points, what I call two dots. We're connecting those two dots with a trend line, and we're looking for price to smash to the downside. Make sense? And this was it. I mean, if you missed this trade here on October 8th, which was, a few weeks ago, then you can see what kind of power that downward move had, right? And all of this happened in the smaller time frame chart while using my trend line drawing robot to do all of the heavy lifting for you so that you don't have to manually draw any of these trend lines and fuss around with the mouse, okay? This trend line drawing tool robot is going to do all of the heavy lifting and all of the dirty work on your behalf. And my friends, that is how you catch massive, gigantic, huge moves in the Forex markets without using any indicators at all. Just a simple trend line drawing robot. So that'll do it for this video, guys. I hope you learned something today on how to properly trend trade Forex like a real professional trader. If you'd like to learn more details about how you can get your hands on my trend line drawing robot tool, then do me a favor and click the link below, and either myself or one of my colleagues will get in touch with you for a free one-on-one demo. Guys, thank you so much for watching this Forex tutorial, and I'll see you on the next trade.